Legacy Maker, the All Sports Network.
The place is here and the time is now. Let's take it round for round. And people gather round. Let's see who can win the crown. All the marbles involved. Football, baseball, or golf. Who's dominating the hoops? Who's talking false or the truth? Yeah, come and show me your war face. I'll show you my war face. No holds barred, so for your sake, you better show up in good shape. Valuable information is key to your domination. So focus on preparation. Online is your reputation. Yeah, it's one-on-one. You and me, ain't no fear in me. You will see. When it comes to this, you'll be wearing the number 23. In debate, I hold my weight, cause these sports I'm attached to it. Your legacy, get ready, cause I'm gonna set a match to it. Hey. Burn 'em. Fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire.
This week's panel from the Legacy Maker Sports Network, Jay Quimby, Lamonte Thomas, and special guest from the GameTime Sports Network, Larry Patterson. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Legacy on Fire here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network. We are sitting here at episode 54, and we are a week away from NFL training camp, so we're going to get into a little bit of that today. We got a lot of NFL to talk today, but we'll talk a smidge things here and there. But before we get all that going, let me go ahead and introduce you to my esteemed panel. To my right, the man that is the co-host of Commonwealth Sports Talk here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network, ready to take the journey down to the ACC next week in Charlotte for ACC Media Day, Mr. Lamonte Thomas. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well, man. Glad to be on with another show with, this esteemed panel, as you said, my guys. I'm ready to do
esteemed.
it.
Very esteemed panel. And below me, right below me here, the man, myth, and the legend that is the co-founder of the Legacy Maker Sports Network, co-host of the Legacy Maker Sports Podcast, and also ready to make the leap, head on down to Charlotte to go hang out at the ACC Media Day next week. My man, Mr. Jay Quimby. How you doing, brother?
Football, please.
Yeah, I know. We're getting close. The itch is there. The itch is there. And, of course, our special guest, he was here with us last week. He's back this week to bring some more to fire. Our man from the GameTime Sports Network, Mr. Larry Patterson. What's up, Larry?
What's going on, Legacy Makers? Glad to be here for episode 54. Let's talk some sports.
Yeah, let's get into it. We got a lot of good stuff to get into today. Now, before we go to one sentence, there is one thing that I kind of want to bring up because it's kind of big to our network, and I don't have a graphic for it, but Josh Harris Group officially takes over in D.C. I'm just going to go around real quick and hear from everybody. The Commanders are no longer under the tutelage of Daniel Snyder. This has been a thing for years, and a lot of people cannot say that they sat and were able to live to see the day that Daniel Snyder. There's a lot of Commanders fans that are dancing in the streets tonight. Real quick, just want to go around and see how you feel about it. Lamont, what are your thoughts on the Commanders now being taken over by Josh Harris and Magic Johnson in DC? It's Magic time in DC.
LT,
Lamont,
it's your turn.
Wow.
Lamont was like, yeah.
Oh, I'm here. I didn't hear.
I didn't hear you.
I heard you. I heard it's Magic time in DC, and that was it.
All right, well, give us your
right.
give us your
Nah.
give us your
No,
give us your thoughts.
It's a long time coming, man. It's a long time coming, and just as you said in the update that you gave, that it's time to see what this post Snyder era is to bring. There's a lot of loyal yet disgruntled Washington Commanders fans, man. They've been waiting for a long time, to see somebody actually lead this franchise and a time where they can get a group of guys to come here and have something to believe in. So it's an exciting time.
Jay, we head to you next, man. What are your thoughts on the Josh Harris Group and Magic Johnson, the crew, are taking over in DC?
About damn time. I mean,
it felt like forever, right?
I mean, yeah, I can't wait. Nothing against Ron Rivera. The next couple of years, we're going to see a complete change. I hope Bellamy takes over as head coach, and his intake brings this team there's so much talent here that they should not be losing. That's all. I mean, plain and
Or at
simple.
least being 500, because that 500 last year, they should have been in the playoffs. Larry, heading to you, man. What are your thoughts on the Commanders making the move? And now Josh Harris is the owner of the majority owner of this team.
It's time to fight for old DC.
I bet you they singing tonight in DC. I s-
Commander.
Hail to the Commanders. I'll never forget that. That lady, when she hit that tone and she did that jazz version of that song, I said, nah, bro, that's not it. That's not like that. That is not it at all. But congratulations to the Commanders fans. They deserve this. They have been through a lot, and now they get a chance to start anew. So good luck in that new journey, and we can't wait to bring
Showtime.
you. We cannot wait to bring you coverage of that as that comes along. With that being said, it is time to go ahead and start off with one sentence. First one sentence of the day. We're going to talk about Steph Curry, man. Steph Curry went out there last week, showed why he's not just an amazing basketball player, but the man can actually go out there and swing the clubs. He was able to win the American Century Championship last week. First active athlete to win it since I think it was 2000 or 2001. So it has been a minute since an active athlete have won at this tournament. So we're going to go through one sentence on that. 30 seconds. Once you've done your one sentence, we'll start off with you, Larry. What is your one sentence on Mr. Steph Curry, not just balling out from the three-point line, but knocking down long distance putts?
One sentence is, what can't this guy do? Just in walk-off fashion too, and I can definitely see him once his NBA career is over, going on a PGA tour or a live tour or whatever. I think they merged, but I can definitely see him playing golf full time. So
would be interesting to see though. But the guy does have talent. Lamont, we head to you next. What is your one sentence on Steph Curry winning the ACC?
It's the NBA slogan. I love this game, right? Like, because watching Steph Curry play basketball, apparently do golf and do anything is exciting, right? Like, when's the last time you saw somebody, like he said, on a walk off like that and then go crazy like Steph does, right? Like, he makes it exciting. And I'd watch him. Just like Larry said, if he played golf after this, I'd definitely watch, because not only is he talented, but he's just fun to watch.
Just fun to watch. Jay, we head to you. What's your one sentence on Mr. Steph Curry? Not just with the walk-offs from the three-point line, but putting from
it's amazing. He sets his mind and he can conquer almost anything he wants to do. So, I mean, it just tells you a lot about the man he is. I mean, he just makes it look effortless, to be honest.
Yeah, look, it was amazing, man. Congratulations to Steph, man.
I wanted to jump up for him, but I didn't want to break my other hip.
Hey, look, ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Gotta come pick you up, man. It's gonna be Darrell him down. Like, come get me.
I'll be there in 15 minutes. Means I'll see you in an hour.
I'll see you in about 45 minutes. You know how they go.
Yeah.
You know how they go. We head to our next one. We head to our next one on one sentence. And now, look, y'all, the alternate jerseys that are coming out have been absolutely amazing. Or at least they're definitely giving us a lot of nostalgia. A lot of 90s nostalgia has been going on with these throwback jerseys. Now, this Browns jersey is very interesting. I never thought I would see a white Browns helmet. I know it's not that much, but I just wanted to know your thoughts on the Browns alternate jersey, because people are up in arms about it. So in a good way. Jay, we head to you. What's your one sentence on the Browns jersey?
I love everything so far that all of them have done. The Colts black helmet, beautiful. It's so slick. I really, the jersey sales. If this doesn't help sell jerseys, then the NFL's screwed on jersey sales. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, exactly. Larry, we head to you next, man. What's your one sentence on the Cleveland Browns white uniforms, or the others as well?
I hope they do some winning in them. they got the roster for it. My question is, when will they be able to play in them? Because I feel like that's a nighttime game type of vibe. Like, you know how the Penn State does the whiteout it seems like a whiteout type of vibe right there.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm with Jay. The Colts uniforms, man, they just so. I'm glad they put that black. They put something else other than just white and blue, and then they add that black in there. It's pretty good. I like it.
Yeah, it was funny. I saw somebody post on one of the posts about it. They was like, "So this is the Indiana night version, but y'all gonna be playing at 1:00." All right, cool. So I was like, it makes sense. I mean, if you're gonna do the night, if you're gonna call it Indiana night, it's got to be a night game, right? I mean, I'm just saying,
But they play in a dome, so they can turn the lights down.
touche. Hey, Lamont, we head to you. What's your one sentence on the Cleveland Browns uniforms?
Just for the record, wear them 3 times this year. I looked it up. They're gonna wear them. I think on a Thursday night game. They're wearing them. I want to say it's like week 2, and then they're wearing them another time. I think when they're playing at home. So there's that. But my one sentence, and I had to do this. I think the jerseys look sweet. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know if you guys know, but they're sponsored by Dude's Wipes. Okay, and that company makes flushable wipes for men. And let me tell you, they are the geniuses in this, because when they completed their partnership, this is the line they came up with. You got to see the commercial because it doesn't do it justice. They said, "We're no stranger to cleaning up. Crap emoji. Toilet paper leaves behind."
And then there's a brown.
And they
strip.
had to.
Oh no!
Hold
My
on.
goodness!
And
Hold
it's a
on. Look
brown
at
commercial. Hold on.
Oh man, no.
Where's the orange come into it though? Because
Carrots.
I don't know what
I don't
type
wanna answer the
of
question.
carrot you be eating, bro.
Listen,
You
they
chew 'em
have the
through this
brown,
hole,
look,
right?
they have the Browns personnel in the commercial. So he uses a wipe. I think he spilled something on his shorts. He uses a wipe to get it off, and then once he scratches, they kind of cut to like the new helmet on his shorts. It's
Hey,
hilarious.
Darrell, it goes with what I just sent you, dude.
Oh my god. That's
I
bad.
sent Darrell. I was like, it's so Watson don't get stains on his jersey.
Oh man, yo, that's insane. Yo, that's insane. That's insane, bro. That's bad. That's bad. That's a bad deal. That's a bad deal.
I'm sorry.
That's a bad deal.
The door was open. I just walked through it.
He just couldn't help it.
I thought it was funny that they got to promote their brand while unveiling this new, alternate uniform for the Cleveland Browns. But at the same time, it's like you took a jab at Browns fans. It was hilarious to me. I just thought nobody but the Cleveland Browns would get something.
That's amazing.
Like, it's to literally crap on your moment.
But all the Browns fans I've talked to, Lamont,
That's
did
great.
not put those two things together. That's what's great about it.
They all they care about now. I never knew about the dude white thing. That makes it 17 times more hilarious. Oh my
gotta
goodness!
look up-
It's
Wow.
just a shitty situation.
All right, we head to our. What was that,
Once
Lamont?
He wipes the thing off his shorts, then he wipes the helmet, and it changes right to the new helmet. And he looks at the wipe, and it has like an orange stain, as if he wiped the orange like paint off the regular helmet. And he says, "Oh shit!" Like that's what he says. Like,
Wow.
I mean, at least they can take a jab at themselves.
Their marketing team needs some money because
They can't catch a break, man.
I know, man.
Yeah.
That's a bad deal. That's a bad deal. All right, let's head to our next one on one sentence, and it is about the man, Mr. DeAndre Hopkins. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm kind of surprised, but not surprised that he decided to sign with the Titans. But I'm very intrigued to see what you guys think about this. Obviously, everybody's been talking about this is where wide receivers go to die. So, like I said, just want to hear from y'all. And what do y'all think about this? We'll start with Lamont. What's your one sentence on DeAndre Hopkins signing with the Tennessee Titans?
why? Like, when he listed his stipulations for the next team, I think that was the one that got me. He said he wanted a quarterback that loves the game. He wanted a great defensive line, and he wanted a great team manager. Those are the 3 things he said. Now, if I could be wrong, but I could have sworn he was hinting at the Patriots. That's what I
Right.
thought it would be. And I was like, okay. And then he signed with the Titans. It was just laughable. Like, even AJ Brown wasn't AJ Brown of last year. So, like,
Yeah, I know I didn't understand it neither, but hey, it is what it is. Jay, we head to you. What's your one sentence on DeAndre Hopkins signing with the Titans?
Why? I mean, no.
Why no?
You should have just went back to the Cardinals. It's just as bad. I mean, maybe they were hoping that some of that accuracy issue that Levis has, he'll be able to throw it really deep because we know Tannehill can't, and Hopkins can jump to get it when he's healthy.
Maybe. Like I said, it still kind of baffles me on that. I'm not 100%. Larry, what's your thoughts on it? One sentence on DeAndre Hopkins.
Money, 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 money.
That's probably the best way to explain it.
26 million with the incentives, 32 million. I mean, he wasn't going to get that nowhere else, and especially not in New England. I mean, he could have took less to go to Kansas City or Buffalo, but if you look at the quarterbacks that he's played with over in his career,
you're not gonna get one of these.
Matt Schaub, Case Keenum, T.J. Yates, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Ryan Mallett, rest in peace, Tom Savage, Brian Hoyer, Brandon Weeden, Brock Osweiler,
Close your ears. Close your ears.
AJ McCarron, Kyler Murray, Chris Stravler, Colt McCoy, Trace McSorley, and David Blau. Did you expect anything better than that?
I mean, you would hope that that's what you want. I mean, you would think that's what he would want. I mean, but hey, I mean,
but in those, he's had 6,000-yard season in those. So if anything, like he can make it work.
That's true. That's true. I mean,
that team. I don't mean to cut you off, but that team, the Titans, didn't the Titans make the AFC Championship game like 3 years ago? Something like that.
3 years ago they made it. They were the 1 seed 2 years ago, and then last year they at one point looked like they might have made the playoffs, but then they fell off. They made it all the way to the final game of the season. If they'd won, they'd have won the division, but they lost to the Jaguars.
So if you think about it, with a heavy run game ran by Derrick Henry, and they bring in the third round rookie, whenever he got drafted. I'm blanking on his name, but Treylon Burks, Chiga Konkwu. He had a nice season. The defense, especially up front, it's going to be pretty good, led by Jeffrey Simmons. I mean,
they might surprise.
They might surprise you.
They might surprise. You never know. I mean, Tannehill was a Pro Bowler like 2 years ago. I mean,
that tight end is one of my breakout candidates in the article that I've been writing for the last 3 weeks. So
I love Chig, man.
Oh yes, absolutely.
But my thing
is, go ahead, Lamont.
Somebody in their own division. That's the thing. Like you said, 2 years ago, or was it last year when they lost to the Jags to get in? It was like it was a layup and they blew it. And then there was the one time that I really thought they were really going to do it. I guess when they under this regime that they have now, and then they go and they lost to T.Y. Hilton, who was like the only impact player for the Colts, and he killed them. And
I remember that.
You had one guy, and you lost them. Like, what's the point of winning division if you can get kicked out by your division?
I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. But who knows? I mean, look, we may be all proven wrong here, and who knows? Maybe Tannehill has his best year of his career. I mean, we'll see. I mean, the South is not, Jacksonville's still young because let's look at Jacksonville history. Even though they'll have good season and then fall right back, so we haven't seen continuous success in Jacksonville. The Colts are. We don't know what we're going to get from Richardson, even though we've heard good things. The Texans are the Texans. And so there's a chance. There's a chance.
Yeah.
The Titans were up 16-13 in that game against the Jags until Joshua Dobbs fumbled the ball.
Yes, that's right. He did fumble the ball.
So it's not like the Jags were like skating away with it. Like Titans were right there.
They were terrible though. That's the problem. The Jags were terrible in those last 5 games. They were almost the laughing team of the league.
Yeah,
I agree.
And they were able to sneak them out. It was crazy. It was crazy. It was crazy. But hey, DeAndre, good luck in Tennessee. I know some Tennessee fans and some colleagues of ours, Mike Patton, our man Cortland Griffin, very excited. People that cover the Titans, very excited to see them go there. Next, let's head to our last one on one sentence, and let's talk about the amazing, at least in my opinion, the amazing series on Netflix, Quarterback, produced by Mr. Peyton Manning. And I mean, look, I really enjoyed this series, but I cannot wait to hear what you guys have to say about this on the one sentence. it was, to me, it was just a really, really good series. I thought it was really just done well overall. Jay, I'll start with you first. What's your one sentence on the quarterback series?
It wasn't bad. It was nice to hear the stories and the points of views. I won't lie, my respect for Patrick Mahomes went up because the sideshow that gets presented by his circle really does down the man as a person, to be honest. I mean, when your brother is a fool like that, and you know, it like I said, I think Peyton did great, and I want to see more of this, but maybe more in depth with some older players. Maybe we get AB and figure out what the hell is going on up here. Who knows?
Remember, look, I saw a picture of AB the other day, man. He had 5 girls around the bed. He was laying in the middle of the bed like this, and the girls had on bikinis. I was like, man, my man, look, he living
Did
his
he
best
have
life.
his bag of gummies?
I don't even know. I don't even know. I'm not even gonna lie. Larry, we're gonna head to you. What's your thoughts on the quarterback series for Netflix? One sentence.
Well, I'm gonna keep it 100. I have not seen the series yet, but this weekend I will be tuned into it.
Right.
I just like what Jay touched on it with Patrick Mahomes. That little clip that I did see, you gotta have the respect for him, man. I mean, just to go back out there and just the willingness to compete. I did see a post about Kirk Cousins, and they said if you watched the quarterback series, and they said hits by year, and Kirk Cousins was 78 hits in 2020, 65 hits in 2021, and 84 hits in this past year. Vikings got to do something, man.
Man, look, hey, my poor guy was in. I felt so bad for him. He was in that ice tub a lot. They had my man. My man was going in 53-degree water just to get his ribs healed up after De'Aaron Payne hit him. You know, so we'll head to you, Lamont. What's your one sentence on the QB series for Netflix?
My one series is I like that. I've been an advocate for Kirk Cousins for so long, right? And I feel like this series, it actually does humanize him, right? And it shows people it's hard not to like this guy. I hated him. He went to Michigan State. Don't forget. I hated him. Okay. But the guy, I felt like he didn't get a fair shake in Washington. And I mean, the fact that he has that memorabilia room, right? He has a spot for the Lombardi trophy. He has the note from this 8th grade, right? That his dad wrote him. Like those kind of stuff. It's like, man, it's hard not to like the guy. And just to add, that hit that he took from De'Aaron Payne, he got crushed.
He did.
You know what he said? But you know what he said on that throw? It was a big game to Justin Jefferson. He was playing Washington, the former team.
Yep.
And he said, that's what they get for playing man coverage.
That's what he said.
That's what he said. And then after that play, they came back and won the freaking game.
Yeah. Yep.
I just remember him getting hit and him look like he's like, who hit me? Damn. But
now I remember like so I think and I agree with Lamont here. I think the Kirk Cousins part of it really humanized him to an extent because I was just like, you know, I still don't like Minnesota. I need to clarify that before I start this statement. Secondly, I just want to say like I really felt like, you know, it just you got a deep dive into who he was as a person, you know how he handles things with his family, you know, his wife. It just seemed like really nice people. Like it's hard. It's like how it gave you that Russell Wilson effect. You just didn't know about it. But you know, like Russell always like he's a nice guy. He seems like a really nice guy. It's the same dream with Kurt. Like he's this really nice guy, playing the game that he loves. You know, he was talking about how he wanted to be able to, you know, do this long enough so his sons could see him play so they can say they have a memory of him playing. I really thought that the series was done extremely well. And I'm excited if they do a season 2. I'm just intrigued to see who, you know, the quarterbacks would be. So I'll throw that out there real quick. Jay, what 3 quarterbacks would you like to see if they decide to do a season 2?
I'd like to hear some about Joe Burrow because I know that, you know, Urban Meyers did a lot of dirty stuff to him when he was at Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor Lawrence, just because the prodigal child always, and I know I'm going with some younger guys here.
That's cool.
And, you know, Ryan Tannehill, a guy we talked about, going from a wide receiver to a quarterback that's supposed to transition an entire franchise, there's got to be a lot of pressure there.
What about you, Larry? What 3 quarterbacks would you like to see?
I want to see Russ, and strictly off of last year, just to see the drama of what was going on in his mind. Right. I also like to see Geno Smith. I also like to see Geno Smith, and the year that he had. I want to see what was going through his head, and also Dak Prescott.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, that look, Cowboys fans will be tuned in. I promise you that. Lamar, what 3 would you take?
I would like to see Lamar Jackson
Hmm.
just off of from first being drafted and that typical persona that he got, not going to pan out, not going to be good. Drafted at the end to MVP Lamar Jackson. I want to see that. I want to see that journey. Um, I also think Joe Burrow would be excellent because his story is just absolutely amazing. I would watch that all day long.
Yeah.
Um, Last but not least, I'd like to see Jalen Hurts. Um, you know that big turnaround from the team doesn't want you there to literally MVP like season and just the complete turnaround from being embraced, or getting embraced from not being wanted. I want to see what that looks like.
All right. So first one is selfish. First one is selfish. Jordan Love. I've never seen a show that actually really went in deep with the Packers, like in any position. They don't know. They never do Hard Knocks. They've never been on it. They haven't even sniffed it. So it would be. I've always wanted to see that just to like kind of see what it looked like in depth. So Jordan Love. Number 2, Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's just cool. Like I feel like he would have like how Patrick Mahomes had his swag throughout the series. I think Joe Burrow would have that same type of, you just be interested in his life. But here's the one that I really want to hear from, and that's Tua. I want to know how he was just, like going through all the concussions, having to consistently trying to fight back and get in there. I think that would be interesting to see what Tua perspective on anything. But hey, Peyton, we just throwing some ideas out there for you for next year. I mean,
that vestibular therapy, because with the brain tumor doing that stuff, that is way more difficult than most people think. I know physical therapy with the body is hard, but with the brain is just as difficult.
Well, like I said, we'll see how everything goes. Great series. If you haven't caught it, everybody, make sure you check into it. Now it is time to head to the 5-star. Starter on the day has to do with the running back position. Now, Lamont, you got a chance to talk about this the other day on Rob's show about just how things are going on with the running back. But now we get a chance. Does the running back position in the NFL deserve more respect? That is the question at hand. Everybody's going to have a minute to kind of give their thoughts on that and just kind of figure out, man, what is the deal with the running backs? And we know a lot of stuff about how this goes. Like we know that people look at the running back position devalued because they can just pop people in, and the running back shelf life is a little bit short. But what are your thoughts on it, Larry? I'll start with you first. You got 1 minute, brother. Do you think the running back position deserves more respect in the NFL?
hell yeah, it does. The guy in the middle of the graphic is probably one of the most disrespected running backs in Austin Eckler. Just looking at his ability, 900 plus rushing yards the past 2 years, and what he can do in the pass game. And he stated this past offseason that he wants a new contract, and the Chargers is basically disrespecting him off that. But you can also see the owner side of it, but just because of the players that you can just plug in there and play and things like that. And plus, with the other guys in the past that has signed, like they come with these nice seasons and then they get hurt, and it's like, well, we just paid you all that money, so it's either way, it's like they getting screwed, but you can kind of understand too. But
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough deal. I mean, and I think a lot of people would say that Zeke Elliott is probably the biggest example. You look at Zeke, everybody, including myself, I think we all talked about it. Like the man deserved his money. The work that he was doing in Dallas was amazing, and then he gets the money and things. I mean, he still was productive, but it tailed off. So, Jay, we head to you next, man. What is your what do you got to say about the running back position in the NFL?
They deserve the money, and I have a feeling because the executives know this, that we're going to see now, before I get blasphemy for this, they're going to phase it out where the running back will be able to move from the backfield into the slot receiver position and be called. I mean, I'm sure it's probably a little bit more money being called receiver, but that way, so you know, it's not valued like it was. It used to be you run the first 2 downs, passing down was third down, and that was it. Now it's pass, 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 screen, and I see it as pretty much they're gonna phase it out, man. Eventually, what's gonna be the person you get 3 yards, you might get a breakaway touchdown every like 50, 60 plays. There's no purpose at $30 million.
Lamont, we head to you next, man. What is your thoughts on the running back position in the NFL right now? The respect, where is it? Do they deserve more?
I think my answer is going to be similar to Larry's. It's going to be hell yeah. And the reason is because of what you're asking them to do, right? And what I don't understand about this is that wide receivers and quarterbacks get paid in this league for what they have done and not what they will do, right? And so if you're going to do it with the other positions, then the running back deserves the same thing, right? What I don't understand is, yes, there's 2 running back committees. There's it's a passing league now. But think about what you're asking these guys to do. We just talked about Kirk Cousins getting hit. We watched this series. He's talking about swelling his hands and getting in the ice tub for his ribs. That's for getting hit basically, sometimes 10, 15 times a game. But you're giving that running back the ball 15 times a game, right? Just imagine his job is to run past the entire defense aggressively trying to kill him, trying to take his head off, right? Like, think about that, what that puts on your body physically. Like, yeah, you got to pay these guys, man. You got to do it. And then it may not take until like an Adrian Peterson type of player until we really start gaining respect for these guys again.
Yeah, it's sad though. I mean, it's sad because you can definitely see both ends of the spectrum. Like, Larry, I think you made a really good point. Like, you see it from the owner's perspective. You're like, look, these guys are like, we pay them and then they get hurt, or like, are they really worth it? Now, I will say, out of the running backs, because I don't think he takes because he's more of a receiving back to an extent. I think that Eckler, if anybody, I think he probably has a better chance to stay a little bit healthier for a little bit longer. He's got that, Westbrook, Sproles, type of size, type of speed. But I think he can last a long time. That, for me, like, he had 18 touchdowns, back-to-back years at one point, I believe. And I mean, the guy's a touchdown producing machine. I know fantasy wise, people would be just like, woo, baby, because Eckler's the man. So, I mean, looking at that perspective, they've got to find a way, man. They've got to find a way to meet them in the middle or something like that. I mean, because right now it's a really tough deal to be a running back in the NFL. There's a lot of good running backs available. I mean, the fact that Zeke Elliott is going into camp and no team, and Dalvin Cook is going into camp right now with no team. I mean,
Kareem Hunt is still available.
Kareem Hunt's like 28 years old, so like 28, 29 years old. Kareem Hunt's still available. There's some really good running backs still out there that I don't think they still got a lot in the tank. I mean, Cook is one that I probably would stay a little bit away from because you've seen so many injuries from him. But Zeke doesn't really get hurt that often. His production just went down. It's just like, I mean, somebody's going to pick him up at some point. But it's just intriguing just to see it this way.
I wonder how it would look when Jonathan Taylor is up for a contract extension.
Yeah, I know he got to be nervous. because last year wasn't a good year for him. He was hurt. No. And if he doesn't have a bounce back there this year, it's almost like you're still going to be like, well, you were hurt last year. Like, I feel like they're going to use that against him.
And his argument would be, well, look what I did the year before, which he was a monster. But like you said, last year was just one of those down years.
And that's why I said about Adrian Peterson, right? Because remember, when he tore that ACL, think about the narrative. He will never be the same. That's what they said. He came back and he was the best. He was better, and by far he was the best, right?
Yeah.
And let's give a guy an opportunity to do that. Not everybody's not going to do that, but like, just think about it. Just think about if the Vikings gave up on him at that time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. I mean, we're about to go to this next one, and they may be obviously two of the most disrespected, the two of the most disrespected running backs right now, in Saquon Barkley and Josh Jacobs. I mean, Josh Jacobs led the league in rushing last year. He had a really good year. And remember now, he already felt disrespected because they didn't pick up his 5th-year option. And he was already mad about that. And then he goes out there, leads the league in rushing. Just one of the best players. It was a great pickup for me in fantasy. I'm going, thank you, Josh. I appreciate you, brother. And it was just amazing. And then let's be honest, we've seen what people have said about Barkley when he's playing and how better Daniel Jones is when he's playing, and when he's not playing maybe as well, or not playing or not producing, how bad Daniel Jones is. So with that being said, who you choosing? And Lamont, I'll start with you for who you choosing. If you had to choose between Barkley and Jacobs, who are you taking?
I'm gonna try not to be biased, because I've never picked a Raider in my life at anything. But and with that being said, I still have to go Saquon. And I just it's just the eye test and the raw ability. When the guy is healthy, it's just he does things that we just don't see other guys that are able to do. Like his physical stature, the power, it's with the speed is amazing. Now, Josh Jacobs just seems like he literally outworks people. He works really, really hard, and he's a beast. But Saquon is just it's a generational talent. And I feel like I gotta go Saquon.
All right. So going with Saquon on that bad boy. Jay, we go to you next, man. Who you choosing between Barkley and Jacobs?
Well, I agree with Lamont. I'm going with Barkley, and I think the reason for me is the receiving factor of it. Again, it's a passing league. Josh Jacobs doesn't have any receiving touchdowns since he's been in the league. And Barkley's, besides his one season where he got hurt and played like 2 games, his lowest is 41 receptions. So that's why Jones plays better when he's there, because he's able to dump that off. And Barkley is, a magic maker. He's able to make people miss. I remember when he was coming out and you were like, I cannot wait to watch him play when he was coming out of Penn State. So, yeah, I got to go that way.
All right, Larry, we're going to head to you next, man. Who do you got in this one? You going with Jacobs or you going with Barkley?
Well, I like the points those Jay and Lamont made with the Saquon about the production. Crazy thing is these guys both played the same amount of games in 60 games. So that's even with Saquon missing, the chunk that he did. So evidently Josh Jacobs must have missed some time too. But I'm going with the workhorse and the guy that kills us every time that he plays us, and that's Josh Jacobs.
Heartache.
And 64 targets, 53 receptions, and 400 yards last year in the pass game too. He's a bit of a production magnet too. So I'm gonna go with the workhorse and Josh Jacobs. He runs angry, man. I like him. I hate playing him, but I like him.
Yeah, man. Jacobs got a chip on his shoulder, man. They started the disrespect last year, and he's like, I'm gonna lead the league in rushing. And I'm like, we're still gonna disrespect you. Like, man, look, it's insane. He's a young guy. Like Jacobs is like what, 20, probably like 26. He's not that old.
He's 25.
He's 25. He technically in running back years, he's got 5 years left as long as he doesn't get hurt. As long as, like, knock on wood, because I don't want that for him, but he's got 5 years of solid production potentially. So we'll see what goes from there. But and if I'm choosing, I'm going with Barkley. Jay, I've been a Barkley guy. I said, how I said how that draft should have went that year. I told everybody, I said, look, if you're Cleveland, this is how you do it. You draft Barkley number 1, and we knew Allen was going to last till 4. You could have had Barkley and Allen in Cleveland. You wouldn't have had to worry about Deshaun. You would have still had to pay some money, but you wouldn't have to worry about Deshaun. But you would have Barkley. And here's the thing: you got Chubb the next year. You could have potentially had Chubb. I think they got Chubb next year. If they got Chubb the next year, you could have had those two together. Would have been insane. But it is what it is. I think
they get drafted in the same year.
No, I take that back. They did get drafted because Chubb was the beginning of the second round. So, yeah, and that's the reason why
we took Chubb and not Allen. So that happened.
Elway.
Elway
for that.
But yeah, I was just hoping that the disrespect would be so real that he would be in another uniform besides the Raiders. But
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing, he obviously has a problem with him right now, but but he might not be the only one. I think Devontae's still a little bit teed off with old Josh McDaniels too, but he just ain't saying nothing right now. But we'll see how it go. All right, everybody, it's time to head to our last topic. It is time to go to the main flame. Camp is coming up next week. Everybody's getting excited for that. I know I'm excited for it. It's gonna be a long couple of weeks for it, brother. I'm just throwing it out there now. So it's gonna be a long couple of weeks between Ravens camp and Commanders camp. It's gonna be some rough times. But anyway, with that being said, I want to hear what everybody has to say about their top 5 teams heading to training camp. Now, obviously, this could change because for season don't start for now. So just coming into camp, I want to hear your top 5 teams. Jay, I'm going to start with you first. Who are your top? What's wrong? What's wrong? Look, who are your top 5 teams headed into training camp? You got 2 minutes.
Okay, now I'm letting the draft figure into this because for me it was the 1 and 2 was hard to decipher, but I'm going number 1 with the Eagles because honestly they killed the draft. Number 2 I'm going with the Chiefs. 3, the Bills. I wish they would pick up one of these free agents is available. Then the 49ers, as long as, somebody can play quarterback. And last, I was split between that team that I can't say their name because I like my anatomy. My wife won't allow me to say it.
Right.
But then I also, what Peterson's done with the Jaguars and what they brought in, the Jaguars might be a team on the sneak this year. I wanted, I figured everybody would go with the Bengals, but, the Jaguars haven't done anything bad. Let's say that.
Yeah. I would say they've been doing pretty good. I think they had a solid draft for the most part. I think everybody, this year's draft was really good. I think a lot of teams did a really good job of getting the needs that they need. And Jacksonville didn't do anything to hurt themselves. So I can definitely see the Jaguars.
Did you see us take a quarterback in this draft? Yeah, no.
I'm sorry. We took a quarterback, but I was like, bro, I need a veteran quarterback. Now, I got a young guy now. Give me a vet. I just, can somebody go? Can we go sign a vet? We just signed the homeboy from the
USFL.
From the USFL. He was their MVP. Got the tattoo on his arm, long fluffy hair. They said my man can go though. So I mean, by all means, but I still need I need a vet. I was like, okay, Carson Wentz is out there, don't want them problems. But the one that I said I thought Green Bay should have went after was Bryce Perkins. Why? Because he had, he's in that McVay system. He would have been perfect. But that's besides the point.
I hear Brett Favre's having some financial troubles.
All right, Lamont, we head to you. What are your top 5 teams?
All right, this is what I got. I'm like Jay because of the draft and what the Eagles did. I really think that the Eagles are the best team. But player principle, to be the man, you gotta beat the man. Kansas City is still number 1 to me because Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and company, they're on top. Heavy lies the crown. Number 2, I'm gonna go to the Philadelphia Eagles, just for the reason I said. Number 3, this is where it gets interesting. I'm gonna go the Cincinnati Bengals. I just feel like, for the past 2 or 3 years, they've taken down Buffalo, they've taken down Kansas City, and they just seem to be on the rise every year. So I think they're doing the right thing. Number 4, I'm going to go the San Francisco 49ers. I think that they were plagued by injuries, and having a whole year with Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, they're going to be really, really scary, especially with a creative mind that Shanahan has. And then lastly, I'm still going to say the Buffalo Bills. Just like what Jay said, I do want to see them pick up, a free agent or 2. But I think that Buffalo's they're still scary. They're still scary because with with Josh Allen, and defense being able to, they always come through when they lost a little bit of linebacker, but they always come through. They always come through when they're relied upon. So I still say Buffalo at number 5.
All right, Larry, we're heading to you. What are your top 5 teams in the NFL heading into training camp?
I'm gonna follow up with Lamonte and my number one. I'm going with the Bills. Just for can that offense continue to be what they were? And I think their defense. A lot of people are sleeping on their defense, but with the additions of Leonard Floyd, I think they picked up somebody else's. Von Miller's coming back, so they need pressure on that quarterback. Um, that the Bills. I'm gonna say the Packers at number two because yeah, it's in Love's hands now. But I think with a little bit of help with defense, with Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon, he might not have to do that much. Couple rollouts, couple play action plays. Hey, he's got a couple years in there. So number three, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Look, who the hell is the quarterback going to be? That is still championship experience over there in a weak division. Um, who knows what can happen over there? 49ers. Also, who the hell is the quarterback going to be over there? And was that 4?
Yeah, you got 4.
Yeah.
And 5, I'm going to say the Chiefs because they just keep getting better each and every year. I think Rashid Rice, that guy that they picked up, he is going to be a monster, man. Once they get everybody going, Isaiah Pacheco, this guy runs with so much force, so much anger. They're just going to continue to be better.
the disappointment. They're just gonna continue to be better. Hey, look, it's crazy. Look, it's okay. It's okay to hate him, and it's definitely okay to hate him.
The only thing, the reason I left the Bengals out of mine is because my concern for their secondary. Bates is gone, and sorry, LT. Hill was a pain in the ass for Ohio State, but I have not seen him step up into that Bates type role in that secondary, and they no longer have Bell, or thank God Eli Apple. Maybe he should retire, but their secondary is a huge question mark. So I think anybody that gets in a shootout with them, as long as they got a line, is going to light them up.
Now I'll give my eyes real quick. I definitely have the Chiefs in there. Going to have the no. You good? No. You good? Because I got something else we got to talk about. Well, yeah, I think you're looking at the same thing I'm looking at.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna bring it. All right, so I got Buffalo. Well, I got Kansas City first. You're the champs. You're still my number one team going into the camp. I got the Bengals 2, Bills 3, 49ers 4, and my wild card team. And for me, it's going to be Miami. Like I feel like if they come in, especially if they end up getting Dalvin Cook, I feel like everywhere else, the defense, they loaded up on the defense. They still got really good receivers in Hill and Waddle. The Dolphins are one of those teams that I think they're in a perfect position where they're not expected to go to the Super Bowl, but they're good enough and they got enough talent that they could sneak people. And that's a team I think that people have to really watch out for. Now, with that being said, this doozy just came across my phone, and I got to get – so they said the Commanders may change their name. This is
Wolves.
This is coming from the new owner. He said the Commanders rumored a pretty good chance the team will change their name after the Daniel Snyder sale, and the reason why is they want to get behind the Daniel Snyder era. They don't want no parts of it, but there's a chance. So like it's not a guarantee or nothing like that, but there's a chance.
I'm not even a fan of them. I just write for them, and I love that idea.
I mean, another name. I mean, look, to be honest with you, whatever way they end up doing it, like another name change and just like when in the history of sports have a team change their name? Let's see, 1. So you went 1, 2, 3. This would be like a third time, and it'd be 4 name changes probably within like a 5 or 6 year span if that ends up happening. That it just would be, but the question is, where do you go with it? Because if you're changing the name again, I still think the fans are starting to get, there's a lot of fans. I think it's 50-50, but I think a lot of fans are with the Commanders. Like, I think that, they've had success in their one season. I mean, it's 50-50, but I mean, I don't know. But they change it again, man. Oh, man.
This is more merch to buy.
I think I'm gonna tell you right now, if you're a Washington fan and you were smart enough to buy merchandise from this time period from 20 See that? Let's see the everything started going down. What 2020? So right before COVID or was the 19. So from that time to now, if you got a piece of merchandise, like you could be like, I've got merchandise from all of this. I've got an exclusive collection. Like you could go and sell it down the road if you did it right. I brought a piece from each team and I have it sitting up in
How
the
many
frame.
times are you driving down 76 or Hall Street and you still see Redskins memorabilia on somebody's bumper?
I saw one today when I was driving down there. It had the Redskins logo because the DMV shut it off. Like you cannot get a they never did Commanders. I guess they were trying to wait to see what the deal was. But if the Redskin plate, if you have it, you can't turn it in. If you turn it in, they're not going to reissue one. So you almost have to keep it. If you don't keep it, then whatever. But the guy I saw today, it said Redskin fan on the back of it, loud and proud. I mean, I see them all the time. So I mean, look, I tell you what.
Don't they still wear them in the stadium?
Oh, people wear in the stadium all the time. That hasn't changed. It's still 50-50. Like they go in there. The organization doesn't say, "Oh, you can't wear this here." That hasn't happened. I don't think they want to alienate the fans any more than they could. So it's a very interesting thing now that they may change the name again, even though we've heard that it was a possibility. Oh man, Washington organization. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to start
4 different logos.
4 different logos. I'm just gonna refer to them as that because at this point it's just like, I mean, boy, who knows? He might name him like the 76ers because let's be honest with you, Independence, Washington, who knows? The Washington 76ers. Let me stop because that ain't right. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and let's go ahead and finish this bad boy up. And let's go ahead and put out the
Fire, fire, burn on. Fire, 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 burn on. Fire, 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 legacy on fire.
So we're here at our last segment here on Legacy on Fire. It's time to put out the fire where the 3 gentlemen will get an opportunity to get something off their chest in the sports world. So let's go ahead and get started with our special guest, Mr. Larry Patterson. Go ahead and put out the fire, Larry. You got 1 minute, brother.
Man, I know we talked about it earlier, but we got to put some respect on these running backs. These guys are some of these guys are like the forefront of these offenses, and they make these offenses move. These guys got to get paid, man. It doesn't make any sense. Justin Tucker, who probably doesn't even take 10 snaps in a game, is getting paid more than some of these running backs out here just getting hit like car crashes. Justin Tucker's getting paid like 2-point-something million, and some of these running backs are only getting $1 million. Something's got to change. The respect factor has got to change, and we'll see.
All right, so we'll see there, Larry putting out the fire. Let's head over to Lamont. It's your turn, brother. Go ahead and put out the fire.
Mine is just with, to be honest, this is with fans in general. Like I know that we're in this social media age where everybody's got the opinion and the comments, but I've never seen a time where fans are just trolling and trashing players out of nowhere, and it's like I don't get it. I can't even lie. But my thing is just some of you guys really need a hug and a parent that loves you. Like I don't understand what's happening. Now I don't know if it's a shock value or you just want to see if you can get the access to that person or their attention, but that's just not the energy to go with. Like I just feel like if you're gonna be a fan, just I talk about something that you do like, because it's like every single thing. It's just everybody's trashing somebody. I just think it makes for an ugly society. I don't like it.
Hate breeds hate.
No, sir, I don't like it. We heading to Jay. Go ahead and put out the fire, brother.
Why are we not getting as much attention? I know baseball's baseball and it's so boring, but we could see one of the biggest trades ever if Oshani. Or I probably help me out.
You combo package it, Otani.
You
combo package it. You good?
I combo pack. If he gets shipped to the Orioles for the package that I'm seeing, and the Angels don't win something, Mike Trout's MVP career is for nothing, and his loyalty is for nothing. And you know me, how I bark about loyalty's dead. He's been loyal to that franchise, and they've done nothing. They brought Pujols in, paid him a whole bunch of money, and he didn't do much. We play these sports for rings, championships, and sending this guy off, they better get a plethora of talent, like a starting 8 players for him.
Not the whole lineup. You would trade the whole lineup for him.
The man's a pitcher, and I'm gonna say it right now, he's gonna break Judge's home run record this year.
He's cruising, man. It's scary. I will say this. I got a little chills at the All-Star game. They gave me false hope. The fans were out there chanting his name, and he had nothing but good things to say about Seattle. And I think it's because he was, Ichiro and all that good stuff. Hey, by all means, I'm willing to give up Ty France and some others if needed be to bring him there, but
you don't have the prospects. The Orioles,
we don't have anything. We don't have anything, brother. We're middle of the road right now. We're like 4 games out of the wild card, so we'll see them. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish this one, and we're just gonna put out the fire with the Commanders here, man. Look, hey, guess what? Fans, it's over. Hey, right? Let's yay! You should be happy. Look, but I need y'all to also understand that. Just because Harris is there right now, there's not an automatic fix. But it's a good first step for the organization. So I know it's hard as a fan because you've been waiting for this thing for a long time. But once again, give the man a chance to figure out how he wants to change his organization. And let's just look at it this way. This is something to smile about, Commanders fans. Magic Johnson, every team that I believe, if I'm not mistaken, every team that he's got some type of ownership in, they want a ring. LA Galaxy, LA Dodgers, it's just there's something to think about there. Magic's not going to play around. He's going to be a great ambassador for the team. It's going to be a good day overall for Washington Command. Hopefully a good year for the Washington Commanders fans. So smile, Washington. This is it. So my thing is, don't put too much pressure on them. Let them give them time to shine. It's a good day in Washington. It's a good day in Washington.
Fight for DC.
And that fight for DC. All right, everybody. That is it. That is it for episode 54 of Legacy on Fire. We will be back with Legacy on Fire right before the season starts. So it's going to be about a month before we get back on the air for Legacy on Fire. Like I said, I got to go run around for a couple weeks. But we'll be back for Legacy on Fire. But in that process, also, the Legacy Maker Sports podcast will also be making its return as we get closer, so we can go ahead and give you our previews for the NFL season. That'll also be happening around that time frame. So end of August, get prepared for a lot of returns, all that good stuff. Just very excited for the NFL season. And I remember when it first ended last year, y'all, we were like, man, we got to wait 6 months. Well, guess what? The 6 months is almost over. And with that being said, before we get out of here, LT, you want to say anything?
Nah, it's just an exciting time. Make sure all of y'all like, share, subscribe. To everything we got going on. We're going to be everywhere, just like Darrell said. Show that man some love. He's the hardest working man in the business.
I don't know about that.
Follow us, man. Follow us.
There you go, Larry. Shout out your organization, your brand, brother. Let everybody know where they can find you. And is there anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Facebook, YouTube, GameTime Sports Network. I'm also going to be bringing back the Wingspan, covering the Prince Edward Eagles football team. We got interviews with players, coaches, just introducing you to the team and stuff, and getting ready for the NFL season. And shout out to the Legacy Makers Sports Network, man. Y'all always showing love, man.
Always, brother. Always. And last but not least, Mr. J. Quimby, anything you want to say before we get out of here, brother?
I'm just ready. I'm excited for this month of, chaos, and I'm going to be on the move nonstop. So let's get it done.
Just a lot of running. Just a lot of running.
Dude, I have like 8 flights by the time I get back for our next podcast. So.
That sounds about right.
But
well, look,
Larry, it's been a blessing again, man.
Yeah, brother. Glad to have you on, brother.
LT,
glad to have you on.
Oh,
always.
Hey,
I
look,
can't wait till next week.
Next week, y'all, ACC coverage. Myself, Jay, Lamont, Justice, we're all going to be down there bringing you coverage from ACC Media Day. We're definitely going to give you that Virginia and that Virginia Tech take. We're going to get a couple of other teams in there too. We'll get a chance to talk to the Florida State team. It's going to be a lot, but just
Also,
make sure.
look on the ACC network because you'll see us live on there asking questions.
Yeah, because last year Jay asked a question to the coach in Miami, and my man looked at him like, "What you talking about?" Jay hit him like I think Jay made him nervous. So like, Jay made him nervous last year. But yeah, be on the lookout. You can get a chance to see some of us get to ask our questions on the ACC network. So once again, thank you all for that. Everybody who tuned in tonight, Joe, our guy Rick, who's been following us for years, appreciate it. Rob was in there tonight. Thank you all.
I don't know if my barber got off, but shout out to my barber Steve-O with all the Saquon talk, man. I asked him earlier. I said, "You talk about Saquon tonight, man. If you get on, I'll show you some love." So shout out Steve-O, my barber, man.
There you go. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Look, hey, that barber talk. We all know how the barbershop talk goes. It's some good stuff going on in there. All right, everybody. Hey, look, that is it. Once again, thank you all for tuning in and being with us for episode 54. Episode 55 coming back to you in August. It's just a lot going on, y'all, but it's all positive things. I wish we'd be on the air a little bit more, but hey, make sure you go check out our quick hits. We got a lot of audio reels are coming out, so you can go in there and listen to our thoughts and listen to what we got to say and give our opinions here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network. Once again, everybody, until next time.
Love each other.
Jay, Larry, I'm Darrell. Peace.